run me through some of your PBs on various different sizes and things that you can do on a fingerboard, just to kind of give people a context to where you're at with your fingerboarding, because I think a lot of people listening will be like, yeah, I mean, she climbs V14. That's a really hard grade. Of course, she's going to have strong fingers. But I think, when you hear what Allison can do, I will preface it with, these are exceptionally good scores.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that's one thing that's really cool about climbing is I also have a bunch of friends, either on the World Cup circuit or whatever, who have climbed V15, V16, and can barely hang the Beastmaker middle edge body weight. Like, it's not, part of me thinks it's like having numbers this high, I mean, obviously is helpful, but it also is a bit of a party trick. Like, it's not a requirement by any standard to climb hard. I think that's what's cool about climbing, is everybody has their strengths and weaknesses and can pull from other realms of ability and strength and things to be able to climb hard. So yeah, I guess, yeah, it's not that hangboarding this much weight is not a requirement to be able to climb hard, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah, you're definitely an outlier with some of the stuff, but I think I still will say that it's interesting looking at your habits and what you do and how that translates back into your climbing, because I mean, in terms of what we do and the way in which we kind of process and analyze data and certain key markers that have the best correlation for performance, there is still nothing which does better than finger strength in terms of a correlation with grade. It's not a perfect predictor by any means. Nothing is, and it's not the only thing, but if you could just give any climber one particular superpower, I would grant them the finger strength element.
Finger strength.
For sure.
I guess lattice edge wise, I think I just added 175 pounds with two arms on that edge. Was like
170.
Can you convert that?
175 pounds.
Yeah.
Let's see what that is. So that is, let's have a look. 175 pounds in kilograms is, holy smokes, that's 80 kilograms.
Yeah. So
I'm sure
that was my last two arm hang.
Yeah, that's another PB, isn't it? Because I'm sure you were at 70. I mean, yeah, like
that was good. That was very good that day for sure.
Yeah.
It was either 175 or 170. I can't quite remember, but something like that. I had a bit of a shoulder problem that I got in Waco, so I started two arm hanging again just because I was struggling to dangle just on my right arm. So that was sort of cool to go back to. I don't do it a lot. It hurts because I'm at it. Like, I get like pressure bruises on my hips from the weight belt, so I don't two arm hang all that much. But it was nice to go back and see that had also progressed as I was doing my one arm hangs.
What's the difference in your grip types across like open 4, half 4, full 4?
I've been asked that too by the hangboarding scientists. I don't think about it. I will sometimes do a 3-finger drag just because it's good to switch it up, and I have not really trained that grip position much, but I don't really weight that at all. Like I'll one arm hang with 3 fingers. I won't do it weighted 2 arm. But other than that, I sort of just grab the hold however it feels good and I hang on it.
So it varies on the day.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, I really don't think about it. My theory, which is founded on nothing scientific, I guess, but my theory is like the way I would grab a hangboard edge is the way I would grab that edge if I was climbing. Like I wouldn't, if I could get 4 fingers on it, that's how I'm going to hold it on a boulder too. So in my head, it's like easier to train myself to try hard in just whatever grip type I'm in. It's like a half crimp. It's usually a half crimp, but my pinky's slightly short. So my pinky just is in a bit of a drag, but that's like my hand position usually when I'm both one arm hanging and with both hands.
And what are your PBs these days on the single arm stuff?
On the lattice edge, I did my right arm is significantly weaker than my left, like by at least 20 pounds, if not more, depending on the day.
Mm.
But my PB on my left arm on the lattice edge, I think is 35 or 40 pounds in the other hand. I think 35 was what I did. And then on the Beastmaker middle edge, I just did, I think it was 75 pounds was the last one I posted.
75. Yeah, those both sound very similar to Alex Puccio.
Yeah.
Like, right up there with, yeah.
I just posted that one. 34 kilograms I added on the Beastmaker.
That's solid.
Yeah, but I was actually the British team was just in Salt Lake for the World Cup, and Billy, Randall, and Max Milne both wanted me to try to do 100 kilogram, like including my body weight, one arm hang on the Beastmaker. So that's the goal. We're getting there. I think I'm like 5 kilos off.
Yeah. How do you find it training and climbing with other British climbers, considering that we have a lot of culture around finger strength? We love fingerboarding. We do a lot of kind of old school, slightly janky facilities.
I love it. I've always loved that vibe of training. I think like I grew up in a gym that was sort of like that. It was like pretty grungy, and all the walls were just plywood with like straight paint on them. So they were like there was no texture on any of the walls because they literally, I think they was like orange and blue paint just on the wall behind all the holds. And then we had just like a dark grungy cave with all the hangboards in it. So I really like that vibe of training. But yeah, it's always cool. They're one of my favorite teams for sure. It's always cool when they visit. But some of those boys struggle with the hangboarding. So it's always funny that they don't love that Beastmaker edge.
Yeah.
So they always get annoyed when they come to Salt Lake, and that's like my playing ground is that Beastmaker edge. So
yeah, get burned off by Allison. It's good for, exactly. It's definitely good. It's definitely good for them.
Good for the soul. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. I got, do you know who Tyler Nelson is? He's here.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I've been to visit him, so and we chat every now and again.
Yeah, Camp for High Performance. For people who don't know, he is based out of Salt Lake, but he does a lot of data. He's like a huge data guy. Really likes to track things and know sort of what standards are for, I guess, mostly for pulling. Like he's like really big on the ISO pull on an edge. So he'll strap you in till there's like it's like a roller coaster. He'll put the bar over your lap, and then he has you pull as hard as you can. And it's on a scale. So it measures the force that you generate. And the last time I went, we hadn't done this before. I've only been to him twice, but the second time I went, he had me pull on a bar, there was no hold on it. It was just a bar. He hadn't done that before. And I think I pulled like 380 something pounds on one arm on that bar, which he thought the scale was broken. Like he had to measure, he had to weigh himself on it to just make sure that the scale was accurate, because that number is just crazy. But he just was saying, so my anatomically, my arms are really long. Like I have a +7 inch Abe index. So
hence the lockoffs feeling hard.
5'6", but my wingspan is 6'1.5" or so. So my capacity for being able to generate force just with a straight arm, because I was doing that ISO pull on that bar with a straight arm too, is just really high because my arms are so long, and like the way that my anatomy is, just sets it up that way. But then it also means that he lowered the bar to being more towards my head. So I was more in a 90-degree lock-off position, and I could barely generate the force of my body weight because my levers are so long that it doesn't work so well.